Hello World on Twist, and this is my WrestleMania Saturday review. If you enjoy WWE content like this, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I usually do a lot of Raw recap and reviews on this channel, and I like to do PLEs. So this is the PLE version of my reviews. It's gonna be more laid back for my recap and reviews because it's a lot of wrestling, and like I wanted to enjoy WrestleMania. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of the highlights and the cliff notes of what happened in the show. And if you enjoyed WWE 2K26 content, I also have that on this channel as well. We just finished the CM Punk showcase, and we're going to be having my rise after WrestleMania. Now let's get into WrestleMania Saturday. Hello, this is next day after Video Twist. I've also wanted to realize, I forgot to mention one thing. I didn't really realize until afterwards, but I did enjoy the show, but I have come to realize that most of the matches were really short. Like the first match, the tag team match, was about 8 minutes. Jacob Fatu and Drew, that was 15 minutes. That's okay time. The women's tag team titles match, that was only about 8 minutes. I think that's the same amount of time that Becky and AJ got, which is really insane. You would think they would get more minutes. Seth versus Gunther, that was about 15 minutes. That's okay. Probably should have got like 20 as well. And then Liv Morgan versus Stephanie, that match was 6 minutes and 50 seconds. That is a travesty. I enjoyed the show so much that I kind of didn't realize how much time was going on, but like it really wasn't a lot of time going on. Also, I saw a lot of people saying they saw like Hulk Hogan ads, but I was on ESPN, so thank God I didn't see any Hulk Hogan ads. And then the Cody Rhodes Randy match was 22 minutes, but you know that all the shenanigans and everything. But yeah, I enjoyed this WrestleMania. I thought it was entertaining, but the one bad thing I will say about it is it wasn't a lot of time on the matches. They said it was about an hour and like 23 minutes or so of actual in-ring work, and like you think like, man, we need more in-ring time when it comes to these matches. Especially when it's a 4-hour show. TKO do better. Do better about that. Bye-bye. WrestleMania Saturday began off with the host of the WrestleMania, our boy, your GOAT, my GOAT, John Cena. He ain't got the jorts on no more. It's sad to see. He had the little suit on, you know. He popped out. He said that it's been a very chaotic and polarizing journey to WrestleMania, but now we're here. The time is now, and it's time to deliver. He said he's honored to be the host of WrestleMania. He said, let's get to the show. Big pyro all around. And all you hear is, Uso! We get the Usos. Jimmy and Jay with L.A. Knight, yeah! Versus The Vision, which is Logan Paul and Austin Theory. And the celebrity guest in the match, I Show Speed. Shout out to Speed. Fire fit. Only thing he was missing, twin, was some wrist tape. You need some wrist tape, you know, look even better, but fire tights and everything. But we get into the match. The match starts off with the Usos hitting super kicks on the Vision, which leads to LA Knight and Speed having a one-on-one. And they have a little back and forth, you know. LA Knight has the advantage, knocking him down. But later in the match, Speed gets a body slam on the LA Knight, which is pretty cool. And then he tried to put a headlock on him. And it was funny when he put the headlock on, LA Knight just lifted up and he was just like carrying his body weight. But then Jimmy got tagged in. He started getting dominated by the Vision, but he got to come back in when he landed the Whisper in the Wind, and that led to the hot tag. Jay started getting his combo moves onto on Austin Theory, and then we get back. They have a back and forth between all that, and then this is where we get to the end of the match. We have Logan Paul on the apron, and he's trying to do a move on the LA Knight, but at least LA Knight tries to go over to Speed. Speed pushes LA Knight off of him, which lands in him hitting Logan Paul down. Austin Theory is upset about that, so he grabs LA Knight. He says, "Oh, you gonna do exactly what you just did to Logan Paul on the LA Knight?" And Speed's like, "Okay." So he tries to do it, but LA Knight reverses it. He pushes Austin Theory into Speed. He lands the BFT on Austin Theory. 1, 2, 3. Dub for the Usos and LA Knight. I give that match a good 3.5 star. Pretty good tag team match. You know, they have someone in the ring who's not an actual in-ring performer, but Speed looked impressive for what he do. Really athletic. Took some good bumps. He got hit with a big clothesline by LA Knight. That was nasty. He was doing the backflips. He was very athletic in this match. Another celebrity losing is always fun. It makes me scared for when I become a celebrity and I got to wrestle WWE because I don't want to take that L. But so yes, the Usos and LA Knight win, but it doesn't end like that. Logan Paul has a fit. He clocked that man's speed, knock him out, pick him up, put him on the announce table. He finna hit a slam on him, but the Usos and LA Knight stop it. The Usos hit that man with the 1D. And then LA Knight and Usos like, hey man, get on that top rope. Speed like me. And he get on the top rope. They put Logan Paul on the announce table. Speed do a stupid frog splash, perfect landing on him. WrestleMania moment right there. And then he get in the ring with the boys. They start yeeting. Entertaining match, entertaining moment. Hopefully we get Speed back next year. He can get a dub on Logan Paul, man. I'll be fired. Then we get into our next match of the night. It is between Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. Jacob had a fire Samoan entrance. He had like the Samoan dancers using the fire. Drew came in with a door entrance being knocked down. Pull up with the sword, the claymore. They get into the match. Big back and forth between the men. Fatu has an advantage. He goes to the outside and he pulls out a toolbox. And if you know about Drew McIntyre and toolboxes, they don't go together. So he pulls out the toolbox and he pump fakes Drew McIntyre. It makes him duck down because he has PTSD from when he got hit in the head by CM Punk and Hell in a Cell. As he does that, Jacob turns around and that leads to Drew taking advantage, knocking Fatu down. He grabs him and then slams him on the apron underneath it where the steel is. Slammed him right down on the neck. I was like, damn. Then he catapulted him up there and down on the apron. That was a nasty spot. Then I led to Drew doing his yearly WrestleMania social media post. He posted on Twitter that clip. Hilarious. Then we get back into the ring. There's tons of chairs, tons of weapons, wrenches from the toolbox. Drew has the advantage at first, but Fatu fights back, grabs Drew, and throws him into a chair that's sandwiched in the ring post. When that leads to him doing his moonsault. 1, 2. Drew kicking out of that. They get back and forth, and Fatu has the advantage, but Drew picks up one of the wrenches on the ground, pop that man in the knee, popping that man back and forth with it. That leads to him go to the ref and take his belt. He want to whoop him like he did on past SmackDowns. He tried to get him with the belt, but Fatu stops it and takes the belt from him and just start whooping that man. I said, ooh, he whooping that man. He whooping that man back and forth. That was fire. But Drew got back. He fought back, hit that man with a claymore out of nowhere. 1, 2, kick out from Fatu. He's still kicking. Fatu, he start coming back, landing multiple headbutts on the Drew, put him on a table on the inside the ring, leads him to try to go to the top rope to do his moonsault, but Drew stops him down, and he ends up pushing him off the top rope into a table to the outside. He does a flip too out of it. I was like, damn, you athletic as shit, Fatu. Even earlier in the match, he had got hit with a clothesline and did a flip out of it like he was Kevin Owens. I said, these big dudes know how to flip, don't they? But then we get back into the ring. Drew's thinking he's gonna get the match won, but Fatu gets the toolbox, hit that man with the toolbox onto a table. Fatu do his moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Big dub for Jacob Fatu. I give that match a 4-star rating. Good back and forth between these men, and it makes sense. They fall hard. A lot of good spots, chairs. Toolboxes and everything, and I think Drew's about to film a movie, so I'm pretty sure that's why he took the L on this one. But great match, great weapons match, love it. Then we move on to the third match of the night, and it is for the women's tag team titles. We have the champions, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, the Irresistible Forces, versus Charlexa, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, with Bayley and Lyra. They don't have a name, but I call them the Bird Huggers, because they're birds, and Bayley be hugging sometimes. And the Bellas. But Nikki Bella hurt her ankle a month ago. She rolled it and it was too bad. So she wasn't able to compete. But she said, I don't want to mess up Brie Bella's WrestleMania moment. So I did a little calling. I got a little help. And Paige is back in WWE, man. That was crazy. Paige back. She was just on AEW on her real name, Saraya. But she left. Now she's back to the company, and I was like, this finna hit, man. This finna be a good match. And also, the rare thing about this match is, it's a fatal 4-way tag, but usually it's 2 women in the ring, but they did a actual fatal four with having 4 women in the ring in the match, and they had a lot of back and forth moments between these women. One of the funniest spots I love is the Lyra boot spot. She tries to kick Charlotte, but Charlotte tries to throw the boot onto Brie Bella, but Brie Bella catches it and throws it back, and then just Lyra just kicks them both instead. That was pretty fun. But then Brie Bella got some get back when she got the yes kicks. Shout out to Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, her husband. That's where she got that from. Hit them with both kicks. But then Lash stopped all that. Lash was like the MVP of this match, dominating all the women. Big power moves. She ended up hitting a double power bomb. Did one crazy move with Brie when she like choke slammed her onto the apron. I was like, ugh. Then they got in the ring. She did the double power bomb on I think either Charlotte and Lyra, I believe. Led to Brie get on the top rope, land a drop kick. And then that's why we got a quadruple hot tag. Oh, delayed kind of because Brie was kind of late for her tag for like a minute or two. Most women are finding, but then Brie finally gets the hot tag in, and we get the first thing with Paige. She getting that ring on fire. Clothesline, 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 knocking everybody down. Big moves on everybody. Then we get a scene where Paige and Charlotte double clothesline someone together, and that leads to the face-off. If you know ball, if you know history, that they used to be teammates, they used to be rivals. You know what I'm saying? They had the left face-off, and that's when they get into it. But Charlotte gets the advantage on Paige. She lands the natural selection on her, pulled her over to her corner, tagged in Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss about to do the twisted bliss at the top rope, but Nikki Bella there, she pulled down Charlotte's leg, hit her with her crutches, and that distracts Alexa Bliss. But Alexa Bliss still does the move, twisted bliss, knees up. Paige pick up Alexa, hit her with the rampage. 1, 2, 3, new champ. Brie Bella and Paige. They celebrate with Nikki in the middle of the ring. I get that match a 4-star match. All the women was able to get their moves in, able to get their stuff in. Ashley looked really great in this match. Paige on fire. She looked like she ain't never left. I mean, she did wrestle just a couple years ago, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't been in WWE in a minute. And I wonder what they're gonna do now because Paige and Brie Bella being tag team champions is just goofy. Overall, 4-star match. Shout out to all these women involved. Y'all cooked. But we not done with the women though. We get into the IC title, the women's version, with Becky Lynch against AJ Lee, the champion. Becky popped out with a live performance of her new song from the Wonder Years. And then AJ Lee had a special interest too. She popped out with the mini AJ Lees. It was like a whole bunch of girls dressed up as AJ Lee. They all skipped down to the ring. I said, that's fire, that's fire. I was like, who gonna win now? Y'all both got special interests. Usually if you got a special interest, you gonna lose. That's just how it goes. But they get into the match, and they have a little couple stalemates back and forth. At least the AJ Lee having a moment, holding on to the rope, like smiling at Becky, trying to be cute, trying to troll her. But Becky ain't having that. She get her outside that ring, hit a nasty breakaway slam on a barricade. I said, ooh. I said, I know that hurt. She get her back in the ring, and then she starts dominating the first half of the match, just getting and knocking her down. But AJ Lee does get a comeback in. She starts getting her fire offense. She's on fire, getting offense on her, and that leads to her landing, trying to get the Black Widow in. But Becky has a fire reverse at her. She swings her into the ring to the corner, and then pick up for the manhandle slam. 1, 2. AJ Lee don't want to leave that belt. She don't want to leave that belt at all. That leads to Becky and the ref. This is one of the refs that Becky has had problems with in the past, and they start arguing, and Becky go push her, and the ref said, I'm gonna push back. I said, the ref pushing, we can do that? And then that leads to Becky trying to land a clothesline on the ref, but the ref weave out that hoe. The ref dodged that hoe, and that leads to AJ Lee landing her own manhandle. Boom! 1, 2, kick out from Becky. She ain't losing to her own move. She ain't going like that. Then the finish of the match, we get Becky. She has the upper hand now. She tries to go for the manhandle slam, but AJ Lee reverses that manhandle into a Black Widow, and that hoe is fire. But Becky ends up getting the rope, gets it out of it, and then she has a spot near a turnbuckle, which she's already unhooked it. She tried to do that in the last match, Elimination Chamber, but this time it worked a little bit better. She has a spot where she pulls the ref into her when AJ Lee's trying to attack her, which leads to boom colliding. AJ Lee's like confused, That leads to Becky slamming AJ Lee on the exposed turnbuckle. Hit her with the manhandle. 1, 2, 3. New champion, the man. Becky Lynch is the new champ. Becky Lynch is your new Intercontinental champion. I give that match a 4-star. I low-key thought AJ Lee was gonna win, but I guess she didn't really need to win. Like, she's won at WrestleMania before. She didn't really need to win this match, but I also thought that Becky would like want to be in the main event scene, like go back to the world title. So, but I guess not. So shout out to Becky, good dub. AJ Lee, you didn't win, but you had the better fit than Becky. I like the patches on the jeans and on the boots, on the Converse you had. You had the Larry patch, the Puerto Rico patch. Your fit was cleaner. But then we get to what I think is probably the best match of the night. We get Seth freaking Rollins versus Gunther. And Gunther, you know Gunther, he the ring general. He popped out no frills, no frill entrance, just his jacket he always wear, walk down to the ring with some attire that closely matched Becky. I said, why he got black and blue like her? I don't know. But he get down to the ring. Seth come out to the ring. It's not extravagant as it was last year, but he got a whole jacket on that's smoking. He got the big fire pyro going off, going crazy, and he got black contacts. I was like, oh, okay, that's your wave, And so Seth gets in that ring, but before the match even starts, that man Gunther instantly run over to him, dinosaur kick, boom, powerbomb. Like, I was like, damn, he whooping him. Like, the match ain't started yet, but Seth, he get the upper hand, he fight back, he get that man to the outside of the ring, he start whooping his ass, giving that man belt. They get back into the ring, though. The bell actually start, and they get into a crazy. And I ain't gonna lie, the match, super aggressive, super back and forth. I was loving it. The match starts off with a boot-to-boot exchange. They going boot for boot. I said, damn, they going boot for boot. And that leads to Gunther winning exchange and then landing a sleeper on him. Got out of there and hit one of his boots. But then Gunther gets back in, hits the signature chops, tearing that man's chest into hamburger meat. It was nasty, back and forth chops. And then we get to a spot with Gunther trying to land a superplex on Seth, but Seth dropped down out of it and then picks him up, powerbomb. He go all the way to the other corner, buckle bomb. I said, that man strong, ain't he? He got some strength on him. And then we get some more back and forth offense, all aggressive. I remember one time it was like Gunther hit that man with a clothesline, and that man Seth said, and he got back up and said, bow, right back. He dropped back down, had a double down. I said, yeah, these men going at it. They going at it. They cooking. They cooking. Like it wasn't a storytelling match. It was a more of like, I'm a whoop you type of match. That was fire. But then we get as they're having the chopping force back and forth. Gunther's hitting chops on him, but Seth fights back, spit on that man, start hitting chops. I said, I spit on that man, crazy. Gunther don't like that disrespect, so he chopped that man back, hit that man with a power bomb. 1, 2, kick out from Seth. He ain't going like that. And then Gunther. And then at least the Seth trying to land a pedigree, but Gunther stops it. And he tries to go for it again. But this time Gunther picks him up, slams him down for a pin bridge. That man Seth got a lift. He don't lift up all the way. He wasn't that strong yet. The match was too deep in to lift him all the way up. But he got out of it. And then he actually got the pedigree in this time. Then he let that man with the stump. 1, 2. Kick out of it, man. Gunther kicking out of that thing. That leads to Seth trying to do the big guns. He on the top rope, try to land the big stump. Boom, he missed. Hurt that man knee. You know his knees cooked. You know that man knees cooked. At least Gunther putting that sleeper in. Seth going, but Seth fight back. He start biting that man to get out of it. I said, that man really want to win that hell. He really going crazy. And then at least to one of my favorite spots of the night, hit that man with a spinning discus forearm. No. Clothesline by Gunther. I said, oh my gosh, that was the best spot of the match. I thought so until later on, though, when Rollins hit that man with the superplex, the vintage superplex, Falcon Arrow combo, go for the pin. 1, 2, kick out though from Gunther. That leads to Gunther getting the taste of his own medicine. Rollins get that sleeper on the Gunther. You think he finna tap out like last year? No, he ain't tapping out like last year. He get his foot on the rope. And that leads to them going to the outside, where Seth tries to do 3 suicide dives. He land 2, but on that third one, Gunther ain't having it. Catch that man, powerbomb on the apron, back cooked. Pick him up again, powerbomb on that announce table, back is cooked. He get on top of the announce table with him, trying to land a powerbomb again. Seth ain't going reverse out of that. Pedigree. I said, oh my gosh, these boys cooking. They so cold. Then he go to the other table, big stomp on that man head. Seth getting right with the people. Gotta get some interference. Big spear out of nowhere. Braun Breaker tweaking. He back. It's like, man, if you can do that, why ain't you do the match? But Braun is back. Spear that man. Put him back in the ring. Gunther, get that man in that sleeper hold. But Seth, he not tapping, but he is passing out. Gunther gets the win. Passes out. That's a 5-star match for me. This is like one of the, I expected a lot from these men, and they really showed out. Shout out to them. Gunther gets the big dub. You know, he been losing at WrestleMania lately. But then, Seth walks back up to the stage, and he looking at that man Braun. That man Braun mad. He hawked all the way down the stage. Spear! Knocked that man. Wind out, everything. I know he went, I know Seth did that. I know he did. And then Braun goes back up the stage. And he hugged Paul Heyman. Then they showed a segment with the Hall of Fame members. You know, we in the new members are Bad News Brown, Dennis Rodman, The Worm, NBA legend, Demolition, shout out to Axe and Smash, and it was Sid Vicious, and then the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. If you know about Get Ready to Fly, you're a real one, by the way. And then the Queendom, Stephanie McMahon. So shout out to the Hall of Fame members. Then we get into our women's title match. Second to last on the night. We get Stephanie Vaquer, the women's world heavyweight champion, versus Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan just dropped a song called Trouble. It's alright. It's alright, If she's seen this, it's amazing. It's amazing. But she does like a Britney Spears inspired performance of her own music. She's doing like the whole choreography and everything, and then she even danced with this one white dude. I said, "This is not Dom. Why are you dancing on this man? This is not Dom." But she does that, gets to the ring, and Stephanie has a little regular entrance. She got some updated gear, but it's regular. But confetti drop. That's like the special part of her entrance. We get into the match. These women hate each other. Big back and forth offense between these women. Aggressive. Real painful. One of the coolest spots early in the match is Stephanie is trying to do. Stephanie knocks down Liv and tries to do her move called the Vercare Inferno, like her little flip spiral tap move. But Liv stops her and then jumps, does a flip over to her power bomber, and then she turns that into the Three Amigos. Shout out Eddie Guerrero, you know what I mean. But then Stephanie ain't having that. She knocked Liv back down, and she goes on to the Devil's Kiss. Shout out Booker T. Hit I ain't gonna do all that. It was about 10 ahs, you know what I'm saying? And that leads to her doing the double arm lift into the knees. 1, 2, kick at it. That's a nasty move. I ain't gonna lie. Anybody else do that? It's a finish. That should be a finisher, low key. But Liv fights back though. She gets a push off of her and then lands her to backstab her. And she tried the Devil's Kiss for her own. I was like, man, I'm loving this match. Can we do it again? But Stephanie stops it. She don't let her get the Devil's Kiss in. She ends up hitting her with the SVB, which is like a double arm lift up, slam it to her knee. But that gets another kick out, and then but Liv trying to fight back out of it, tries to land her Oblivion on the Stephanie. But Stephanie reverse out of that and then land her own Oblivion on her. I said, ooh, 1, 2, kick out from Liv. She said, I'm not losing to my own move. It's not happening. It's WrestleMania. But then that's when we get the trick. We get Roxanne, Raquel, they get involved in the ring. Raquel end up knocking Stephanie down off the rope, off the top rope. That leads to Liv getting her on the rope. Boom, Oblivion. 1, 2, kick out. Steph ain't going like that. You gotta beat her for real. It's the Liv trying to do another Oblivion on Stephanie, but Stephanie gets out the way by pulling the rope. That leads to her doing a suicide dive onto her Judgment Day members. That leads to then Stephanie doing a springboard crossbody onto Raquel and Roxanne. But Liv takes advantage of that, uses her noggin, grabs Stephanie, slam her into the steel steps, put her in the ring, go to the middle rope, jumping code breaker. Stephanie end up on the ropes. You know what time it is. Oblivion, 1, 2, 3. You got a new champ. Liv Morgan gets her first WrestleMania win also. She's the new World Heavyweight Champion. And Dirty Dom, who got a match tomorrow, runs in the ring, gives his little Joan the belt. Then they all get the camera ready for the pyro. Hands together. Pyro goes off. Liv goes, I told you I'm the best women's champion ever. She in that man Dom's arms. I was like, man, married man, by the way. Should have been my arms, but no. But shout out to Liv Morgan, getting her first WrestleMania win. But Stephanie, you gonna be back. You gonna be back. You winning this next one for sure. You winning this next one for sure. But then before we get to the main event, John Cena pop out. He got it. He the host. This is his second appearance, by the way. He barely did anything else. He announced the attendance. He says 50,816 people were there. People get hyped. And then Bianca Belair pop out. And I said, we ain't seen Bianca in a minute. She's done rare appearances since like she hurt her finger at last year's WrestleMania. But she popped out and she had like a big jacket. And I said, I didn't know what that mean. But she gets to the ring, she said spare WrestleMania without EST, and she says, I have an announcement to make. That she's pregnant. She takes the jacket off, shows that she's pregnant. John Cena's like, thank you, for showing our family. Thank you for including our family into your family. So yeah, Bianca's pregnant. I'm not surprised. She been gone for a year. She been gone for all she been doing is trying to fix her finger. Ain't nobody surprised she pregnant. So that's what Montez been doing this whole time. That's why he been gone. But now we on to the main event of the evening. We got the WWE Championship match between the challenger Randy Orton. You gotta do the T-Rex arms with Pat McAfee versus the WWE Champion Cody Raheem Rhodes. Whoa! The first person to pop out, it's neither of those guys because it's Pat McAfee. He pops out, oral farms for the people. He actually flips them off, which is hilarious. He gets down to the ring. And then Randy pop out. No special entrance. Also black and blue fit. It's like 3 of y'all done had black and blue fits. Did none of y'all realize y'all was wearing the same fits? But I'm not mad. I'm just saying y'all be matching and y'all don't have no links between each other. But Randy doesn't have a special entrance. He gets to the ring, but Cody actually does, and it shows the history of his career. It shows when he used to wear the draws. It shows him when he was mashed, Cody. It shows Stardust Cody, which is hilarious, and then it shows his first match back attire. Is a cool little it looked like a superhero case for that. Cody popped out, gold fit, gold skull on, looking clean. He pull up to his wife Brandy, hugs his wife, hugs his kid, getting into the ring. Alicia Taylor's doing the introductions for the people. She starts to do Randy, but Pat take the mic away from her and then gives his intro for Randy. He give it back to her. Cody get his little introduction, and before the match even starts, Pat boom hit that man with the mic, hit Cody Rhodes with the mic. They start to proceed to jump Cody Rhodes. At least the Cody fighting off. He kicks off Pat McAfee. He grabs Randy, throw that man into the ring post, and then he grab that man Pat, hit that man with the crossroads. Go outside, get the announce table, put stuff up there, put him on the announce table, and guess who popped out? Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll pop out, get on another announce table, hit that man with the elbow drop on that thing. I said, oh. That leads to Pat McAfee actually getting stretchered out, on his way up there. He goes, and they going boo, and he goes. I was like, that's hilarious. And that leads Jelly Roll saying, hey man, now give them that 1v1 match they want, man. Get in that ring. So we get back into the match. Randy holding his shoulder a little bit, but he fine. The bell rings, and Randy, this first half of this match, he got the advantage. They have a early chain wrestling situations going on. Randy wins out of that, hitting multiple shoulder tackles. But then Cody fights back out of it when he hits Cody fights back out of it when Randy hits the corner, hits that man with Randy's own move, by the way, up, boom, power slam, and that leads to him trying to go for the Cody cutter off the middle rope. But Randy catches him, boom, and then boom, backbreaker. We ain't seen Randy do that in a minute, but Randy hurt his back. And that leads to Michael Cole saying, we heard rumors from online and from backstage that Randy maybe got a bad back, man. It might impact him. And that leads on to an important part of the match is that Randy's back is messed up. His back is hurt. So at least the Cody taking advantage of that. He gets to come back, land Boston crabs on him. He Irish whipping him into the corner. He's punching the back. He's landing multiple moves on there. But Randy, he vet in the game. He fight back. He get that man Cody on the top rope. Hit that man with a superplex. Cook his back. He like, ah. Hurt his back. But Randy, he's still Randy. Then he get this vintage come back in. Clothesline. Now he get his own power slam in. Ah. Then he can pick him up. Go for the DDT. Boom. He hurt his back though. He hurt it. He know what he need to do, but it hurt. It hurt him. Then Randy, after he do that DDT, it's time to get that RKO, and but you know how he flip around and punch the ground. He don't even do it. He said, nah, let me get back normal. Done. But he hurt though. He hurting when he do it. That leads him to try to go for the RKO, but he tried to go for the RKO, but Cody reverses out of it. Leads him to going to the outside of the ring. And that's where Randy gets his advantage back. Pick up Cody. Backbreaker on the table. Vintage Randy. And then he pulls him around the ring, around the area. He tries to do it again. But this time Cody reverses out of it and then slams it to the ring post. And this is when we got to see some color. Randy probably got the blading that thing. He gushing, bleeding. And Cody's like, I'm sorry. Then Cody gets Randy back into the ring and then does steal his limb stumps. You know, when he stump on the legs, stump on the arms and everything. And then he tries to, and he picks him up and he's trying to give him over the DDT, but Randy slumped out. But he not going for that. He pick him back up, pick Randy. Boom, he hit his own DDT on Randy. At least the Cody doing the stump. Try to go for the, nope, no RKO from you. Randy dropped down, crossroads, 1, 2, kick out from Cody. He not losing to his own, but nobody's losing to their own move, bro. They're not losing to their move. And at least the Randy tried to land the RKO again, but Cody reverses that time into a backslide. Randy kicks out of it, and now it's time for Cody to get some RKO in. Cody hit the RKO, go for the pin. 1, 2. What did I just say? I just told you nobody losing to their own move, bro. But Cody, he ain't going for that. Gets Randy to the outside of the ring. Now he lands the backbreaker onto him. Then he get Cody back into the ring. Land that crossroads. 1, 2. Randy ain't going. He's still in the match. Kick out from him. Then we get a big booyah, back and forth punches. And I think Randy actually punched Cody for real because Cody get punched one time. And that leads to him poking Randy's eye. And you can see like his head is like bleeding. Especially with the blonde hair, it's really easy to see. And like Randy's blinded, so he just instantly goes RKO, but he does RKO to the ref. He does an RKO to the ref. And that leads to him trying to take advantage and try to land a nut kick on the Cody, but Cody catches, say, my turn. Nut kick to Randy. I said, he locking in. He finally locking in. That leads to him now trying to then the big Cody cutter on the top rope. Jump off. Randy, RKO out of nowhere. But it's no ref. He go for the pin, but guess who come down? Pat McAfee with a neck brace on and a referee shirt. He ran down to the ring. 1, 2. Kick out from Cody. He done sold the chance. He done sold the number 1 chance. I can't believe it. He don't know what's going on. Randy like, okay. RKO on the pad. I said, oh, here we go. That leads to him being distracted. He has his back turned to Cody. Cody locked that man in. Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes retains the WWE Championship. I didn't expect that. I give this match. I didn't know. I just watched it. This literally coming right after WrestleMania happened. I don't know. I was thinking of giving it a 4.5, maybe 5 star. I'm gonna say it's a tie with Seth and Gunther. I really enjoyed like the storytelling of the match. This is like a more storytelling of the match because like the slow methodical pace of Randy Orton and then Cody getting his own version of his slow methodical pace because Randy has the back hurt. I like the finish. I like how like Pat still lost in the end. But Cody winning surprised me. It genuinely surprised me. But I'm gonna say it's tied. But overall, it's a 5 star for me. I'm gonna say a 5 star. Those are top for the best matches of the night. Your main event should always deliver, and this main event delivered for me. But then that's not the end of the show. Cody can't even like flex his win because Randy say, give me your belt. Boom! Knock that man down with the belt. Then he go over to the ring, to the corner. And if you know OG Randy, you know it's finna go down. He ain't did this move in a hot minute. Punt kick to Cody. Then he Orifar holding the belt. And that's how we end WrestleMania Saturday. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more, man. I'm so excited for WrestleMania. All I know is the whole event is amazing to me. If it's got to be one thing got to happen. Obafemi need to put belt to ass to Brock Lesnar. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He got to give that man belt. But especially, we know with CM Punk, also make sure to check out the WWE 2K26 showcase with CM Punk. It should be in the things right here and in the end. I'm Twist, and we do WrestleMania Saturday.